Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here, and welcome to another episode of Wizard Watch, the weekly show where we break down the top moments from this week's episode of SmackDown. Now before we get into the juicy stuff, as always, it's very much appreciated if you could like the video, share the video, and even better, subscribe if you're new. So let's get to it. Now this whole Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Bloodline storyline is an emotional roller coaster to say the least. They should make this story into a freaking book. And it's safe to say we got some developments this week on SmackDown. At first we thought that Cody Rhodes had failed in being the peacemaker between the two of them, trying to get the two to kiss and make up. But later on, things changed. Initially, we got a confrontation between Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, which was a great segment. You can truly see that Sami Zayn knows exactly how Jey Uso is feeling internally. And externally, he's just putting up a front. Sami basically said that Jey has had a choice all along, and he's just mad at himself. And if it weren't for Sami being the one to hit Roman with the chair, it probably would have been Jey first. And that Jey feels annoyed that he didn't get there first. Now Jey, of course, putting up the front, calls Sami Zayn out as a fake ass oos. The fact that he knew that all along, we know that's not the truth. And then the Usos beat down Sami Zayn. And by the way, Michael Cole, were you having a funny 5 minutes? Because that was definitely still steps that Jey hit Sami with, and not a chair. Just saying. But he did redeem himself with the awesome line of Sami Zayn is going to become the sacrificial lamb to the Usos. I love that line. And then, out of nowhere, Kevin Owens came out to save his friend, Sami Zayn. Delivered the stunner to Jimmy, and then the pop-up powerbomb to Jey. Boom! Owens back. The hug delivered, and the crowd went wild. I can't remember a time in WWE where a hug got such a reception and pop. You could see the hesitation initially as well with Sami sort of taking a step away. He wasn't sure what Kev was going to do, but those two have made up, and don't they just look like a couple of weapons? And I just love the little details with Jey Uso's facial expressions when he was down the ramp looking in just complete disbelief. Next up, we got some IC title shenanigans where the matchup between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre ended inconclusively. Gunther, seemingly not happy with a potential double count out, got involved and delivered a vicious powerbomb to Sheamus onto Drew McIntyre. Ouch! That looked like it really hurt, like a 260-pound Sheamus coming down on you is not what you want any day of the week. And then Adam Pearce appeared on the screen and stated that now, because of Gunther's involvement, it would be a triple threat match at WrestleMania between Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew McIntyre. What a banger of a match that's going to be. Can't wait. Next up, we got an interaction between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. Well, actually, scrap that. It was a full-out brawl, wasn't it? And this was a pretty cool segment. It was a pretty intense segment. I love the fact that Charlotte Flair accidentally kicked one of the security guards along the way. But this just served the purpose of heating up the matchup between the two of them. Well, equally as well, I feel like slightly teasing the fact that down the line, Rhea Ripley is going to get to Bianca Belair. And assuming Rhea beats Charlotte at WrestleMania, down the line, anyone feeling Bianca versus Rhea? It's SummerSlam, potentially. Next up, we got an emotional promo between Dom and Ray. Ray admitted to not being the best father, but still, he's not going to face Dom at WrestleMania because he still loves him, and all this just hurts so much that facing him would be his biggest disgrace as a father. But equally at the same time, I love the fact that he said that Dom is ungrateful, disrespectful, pathetic, a punk-ass kid. And if he wasn't his son, he would gladly whoop his ass. I also really like the line, "My biggest regret is what you have become." Ray is disappointed in Dom, but at the same time still loves him, so he's not going to face him at WrestleMania. For now, anyway. And talking of Rey Mysterio again, we got a backstage segment where LA Knight came up to Rey Mysterio when he was signing autographs and said that he could be the deadbeat dad by taking on his son at WrestleMania. Ouch. But the big talking point came slightly before that, because you could see in the background the Bray Wyatt logo. Now, of course, we know the history between LA Knight and Bray Wyatt. So is that a hint of things to come at WrestleMania? What is the status of Bray Wyatt? Is this potentially all a work? The questions remain. But if this is real, on a serious note, I just hope that Bray Wyatt gets better, returns to full health, and comes back only when he's ready. That's for sure. Now, of course, LA Knight was in a match against Xavier Woods on SmackDown, which he lost. But it feels overall that LA Knight is kind of giving me Seth Rollins last year vibes. That he's that desperate for a match, he'll approach anyone at any time. But is Bray Wyatt involved in some capacity? We'll have to wait and see. Also, we wish Kofi Kingston a very speedy recovery. He successfully underwent ankle surgery, so we wish him a very speedy recovery. A few other noteworthy mentions. Liv and Raquel beat Emma and Tegan Nox. Look at Tegan Nox's face here. It's Raquel's lifting her up to qualify for the WrestleMania showcase. And also paying attention to this week's up and coming Raw. We're going to get Roman Reigns on Raw, which is always juicy. And an Impulsive TV live segment from Logan Paul. So stay tuned for this week's episode of Raw. Catch that on Wizard Watch as always. Thank you so much for watching the video. As always, be really appreciative if you could like the video, share the video, and even better, subscribe if you're new. And we'll catch you in the next one.